All right, y'all. Today we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business. We're going to check out its local search, its city search, and we're going to see if it's got BSS, yes or no. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent to capture. More on that in the pinned video, pinned post, home video, wherever. That's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. A rise in boudoir photographers, rise in business, probably pulling peeps from the entire intent spectrum here. All the way on the left, the highest intent people, all the way on the right, the lowest intent people. And when a boudoir photography business is falling, they're missing some chunk of people somewhere on this, on this intent spectrum. So here we focus on way on the left, the highest intent people, focusing on BSS. These highest intent peeps are searching for boudoir photo shoots literally in our city right now on social search, social media search, and Google search. And all the way over on the right, the lowest intent peeps, that's our other brand, our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, where we're talking about BLCS. And currently we only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand per month on boudoir Facebook ads. Lowest intent people, but it's the highest volume of peeps in our city that exist. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, we're dying a fast death here because that means we're on page 2 or deeper. And we also know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even go to page 2. They're page 1 only searches, which means, dude, approximately 80% of the peeps, literally the bulk of the market, would never even see us if we're on page 2 Google search. So we definitely got to be on page 1, but 1 slot on page 1, that ain't enough. We're looking the same as everyone else. Everyone, other boudoir photographers going to have 1 slot. And, a buyer is just going to be, clicking everyone on page 1, open them up, contacting them, price shopping, comparing. And, they 80% ain't even going to page 2. So we're really only competing against page 1 peeps over here. So that is boudoir search sameness. Now, 0 out of 1 slots on page 1 on Google is not normal. Extremely common, but it's not normal. To have such few page 1 slots on Google, it's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. So market saturation, most people know about this one. It's where, people get a new iPhone and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying that they, offer boudoir, throwing up their website, ranking on page 1 on Google. And also if they get new camera, if someone gets new camera posted in the mom Facebook groups that they now offer boudoir photo shoots. So more sellers for the same number of buyers makes it harder for every single seller. So most people know about that. Also, big market saturation. When COVID happened, a lot of people lost their jobs, still earned money. And dude, everyone who's got his phone has got a great camera, so a lot became boudoir photographers. That's why there's a massive deluge of boudoir photographers in at that time. Next, we got the false belief of page 1 equality. So this, from what I've seen, is the number 1 killer of boudoir photography businesses. This is the false belief. So the belief of page 1 equality is, basically every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots on page 1, and that's how the cookie crumbles. And maybe you had 1 slot on page 1, but some more boudoir photographers came into the market, and your website got pushed to page 2 on Google, and you're like, that's how it is. It is what it is. But no, that is incorrect. That's not normal. That's the false belief of page 1 equality. What's actually true is Google actually wants to give us and will give us, or wants to give and will give the as many page 1 slots as possible to whoever puts in the effort to take them. And I know that because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 in Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in 10 days utilizing this new methodology we've developed. So false belief of page 1 equality, it's not real. Everyone is accepted as real. Everyone is accepted as normal. And it's not. That's completely wrong. So, because it's kind of like a brain cage, people don't even see it's possible to break out of it. So they don't even know solutions are out there. But we do have the solution now. And but before that, a boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. I mean, think if we're on page two, we got 0 slots on page one, then basically nope, approximately 80% of searches ain't never going to find us. So we're disappearing. If we're one slot on page one, we look the same as everyone else, being price shopped. Um, we're not standing out. We're not getting any subconscious bonus points. And so disappearing boudoir photographer, this is the canary in a coal mine to a disappearing boudoir photography business. So if we got BSS, we know we're disappearing. We're on the we're going down the wrong path here. That's the signal for us that hey, we got to turn things around. Luckily, we do have the solution. We have it because we created it. We invented this. It's called the S cubed methodology, social search saturation. It is doing exactly what it says. We're saturating social search with the highest intent keywords, so it can be found on search on social media. People search those keywords for boudoir photo shoots in their city, and these are kind of like the small rivers on the backside of the Andes Mountain that then flow into the large Amazon River, which would be Google. So these results flow into Google, page one of Google, and this is the only solution that I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually successfully fight back and overcome and still grow a business in the face of market saturation and get results relatively quickly, because the only other solution for that is a strong brand, which takes years, 5 or more years, probably more than a decade to acquire. So SQ'd methodology gets results way faster than that, and it actually accelerates becoming a brand name as well. So, imagine let's say we got a million boudoir photographers. Dallas, Texas, we're one of them. Everyone's got their websites and their boudoir photographer. Find a rank page one on Google. But let's say we crank S-cubed methodology up to the max, where we're occupying like the first 300 slots for the highest intent keywords across the 4 major social networks. And as a result, that flows onto Google. We're occupying the first 300 slots on Google for the highest intent keywords as well. Then anytime anyone in Dallas is searching for a boudoir photo shoot, dude, they're basically only going to see us for the first 30 pages, because Google's 10 organic slots per page. So a buyer's basically got to hit page 31 to bring in any or find a bunch of other competing boudoir photographers in Dallas. So we're saturating everywhere: social search, Google search, wherever they look. So who business is growing, even though there's 1 million boudoir photographers in the city? Only ours. And that's because we would have taken SQ'd methodology to the max in the face of extreme market saturation. Now, once BSS is treated with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. Now, a bonus of this is that for every 1 slot we get on Google page one, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Because we know approximately 80% of boudoir of Google searches never go to page two. They are page one only searches. So it's kind of a bonus effect of us getting way more page one slots on Google. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. This is where we have our GBC recommended minimum of, we want to actually hit 3 out of 10 page one slots on Google minimum. And the reason for that is, everyone else is basically going to have 1 slot. So our 3 slots to their 1 slot. First of all, we've kicked out 2 more competitors to be compared against, or maybe even 3 if we had started with 0 slots. And, searchers, buyers subconsciously are going to say, like, why is Google recommending this person 3 different times? I'm going to click into them first and maybe not even look at the other people on page one. So that's 3 slots versus 1. Very rarely someone will have 2 slots. So we'll still be looking at as the better option by having 3 slots over the one that has 2 slots. Any boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So this is our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the twin horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. But finally, thankfully, we have a solution here. S-cubed methodology works way faster than building a brand that takes a decade. And we achieve page one visibility. We become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. So now my results here using S-cubed methodology for myself. I want to rank for the term, see right up here, BLCS boudoir. And so let's go down to the organic slots. So we got slot 1, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So literally, I went from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days utilizing S-cubed methodology for myself. Now, all right, main event here. I'm going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its its local search and its city search. Also going to see if it is hitting the recommended GBC minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. All right, so we're going to Rancho Cordova, California. All right, so here we go. We're in Rancho Cordova, California. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. No, that doesn't count. All right, so we got 0 out of 10. So we got BSS for our local search, and we are not hitting the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. We're going to go to our city search now, larger city search, Sacramento, California. Let's check it out here. Let's see. All right, we got 1. Boom, nice. City's always harder than local. So, all right, we got 1 out of 10. And let's see. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 local. So we do still got BSS for that one. All right, so final result, we got, so local we got 0 out of 10. So we got BSS. City, we got 1 out of 10. We also have BSS, and for both, we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google. Now, if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, where you've done your own local search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords and your city search, and either you got BSS for one or both of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 for one or both of those searches, and you're seeing that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. You've accepted that, and you're seeing S-cubed methodology is the only way forward, the only solution, and you've literally been waiting for something like this, and you're understanding the market saturation, people's getting new gear, and you're loving the initial benefits, more page 1 slots on Google, and even as a bonus, kicking out competitors in the same city from Google. And with the market saturation, you're seeing AI is going to be taking more people's jobs. So number of boudoir photographers in the market's only going to ever increase more and more into the future as AI takes more and more people's jobs. And so you're saying, okay, we got to fortify our search page 1 status on Google, and we actually need like backup links to our page 1 links that could still be ranking for page 1 because we got so much, we saturated the market so much, right? At least those specific high intent buyer keywords so much. Kind of like fortifying the levees in Nolens, Louisiana for the ocean. And you say, oh, S-cubed methodology is exactly perfect for that. So hey, that's another kind of bonus to doing it. And you want to achieve page 1 visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, and achieve boudoir search visibility because you know you need these things in order to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also understand the future benefits of successfully executing everything from S-cubed methodologies starting from today, which is, we're basically building up invisible thematic keyword columns plugged in or attached to our brand, our website, our business name, our brand name. That is what every day we increase those invisible thematic keyword columns, we're actually building AI search mindshare. So every day we successfully execute S-cubed methodology, we're actually increasing the probability we are featured and continue to be featured in this AI overview at the top of Google search, the most premium placement, and we don't even have to pay any ads to get it. And this is, has momentum, where we can achieve momentum, but start momentum, but we do got to continue building momentum, growing momentum through successful execution of Xcube methodology. And we also know that as we continue to execute Xcube methodology correctly, increase the probability of back-end AI search recommendations as well. So things like ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, increasing the chance AI search recommends us more and more every single day of successful Xcube methodology execution. And I know last time I looked for boudoir photographers in the city, it was with ChatGPT, and dude, it gave me 3. But when I went to actually like manual Google search in that city, I was able to find like 60. So manually searching. So we gotta get these AI search slots because right now Google's approximately 90% of global search. But dude, every single day AI search is increasing every single day. And the best strategy, number one strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers to be recommended through it is Xcube methodology. And also you're an early adopter, you're seeing that since my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city, you're seeing that you can actually prevent your competitors from ever using this strat and actually build up a massive gap of AI mindshare momentum with utilizing Xcube methodology to, again, create these invisible thematic keyword columns, attach them to your brand, build up the AI mindshare. And conversely, if one of your competitors was to go with me, you see that you would actually have to go rederive Xcube methodology for yourself, re-execute it for yourself, and you'd actually have to equal me and your competitor's execution every day. And that would simply maintain the gap that me and your competitor would have already built up ahead of you. So you'd actually have to double or triple our output every single day of Xcube methodology to begin pulling that AI mindshare, those invisible thematic keyword columns away from your competitor and my brand back to yours. And you would not be 100% confident you've even derived Xcube methodology correctly in the first place to even put that massive amount of effort into executing it. So you see no that and you're like, screw that, because you realize nobody's got 80 hours in a day to do all that stuff. So you decide you're simply going to be the first mover in your city to actually be using Xcube methodology, prevent your competitors from using it. And so if that's you, shoot me a DM when my DM's actually open. Yeah, hospital is currently closed for new patients. And if we, when I open the hospital for new patient intake, I'll put it here somewhere in the videos, and shoot us a DM then, and then we'll see if you qualify for using our Xcubed methodology.